This video is brought to you by our friends at SmartWings. So there are more videos on how you can replace your laptop computer with an iPad on YouTube than I can count. And while the topic remains relevant, I've never made such a video because, well, I didn't need to, and that's because my workflow would never allow such a thing. But my take on this is changing, and that's because of one thing. That one thing is what this video is all about. Hi, my name is Rich and welcome to the channel. Almost all of my videos are simple how-to videos, nothing complicated. And while today I'm going to cover a few of the new features coming in iPadOS 26, this video will also cover my take on why the iPad has grown more prominent in my daily use. And that's because of the one thing I alluded to in the intro, which is versatility. Truthfully, the iPad may not do everything a laptop can do, but then a laptop can't do everything an iPad can do. And I think the main reason my iPad just sits around while I do real work on my laptop is because my iPad couldn't do what I needed it to do, or if it could, there was just too much friction. But with iPadOS 26, it sort of feels like Apple was looking over my shoulder to see what I liked and didn't like, what worked and didn't work, and where those friction points occurred, and then set about to fix them. And they've made some great strides, but they've still got some work to do. Let me show you what I mean. The first thing I want to show you is just the windowing. If you open up various applications, you can, open them as many as you want up here on the screen, and you can move them around, and this is all sort of new like that. And they do have a way of organizing stuff, and I really like it. If you tap and press on the little stoplight buttons up here and then hold, you now have some choices down here. I've got 3 apps open. It says fill and arrange, and if I just tap on that, I automatically get everything arranged. But if you'll notice, I've got this little handle down here, and I can move it, but it kind of wants to jump around, and maybe now you can do it. And if you notice, you've got the handle here, but you can control it from either side. I didn't know that. It feels like you should do it like that. And over here, when you tap on it, you get the handle and you can do that. And now, but when you tap over in a box like this, it thinks you want to type something, so up pops the keyboard, and you don't want that. So now you have to go down here and grab the handle. So it's a little bit wonky to me and how that works. Now keep in mind, this is all with the windowing system. I've put up here in Control Center the ability to change this. So I've got windowed apps there, and if I tap and hold on it, I can go to Stage Manager. Well, when I swipe up, I can tap on it, and I get the things over, I get the apps over here, and if I tap on those, then I can get back to it. And they are still sort of windowed apps, so you can do that, and that's if you use Stage Manager. If you go back into Control Center and you turn Stage Manager off, now you've got the old iPad behavior that you've always had. So if I swipe up, everything is a full screen app like that, and I can just scroll between the apps just like I could before. So you don't lose that functionality, but you have to sort of figure this out in here. Again, I'm going to tap and hold and go back to windowed apps. And as you can see, I've just got one up here, and now I've got to add the calendar. And then it kind of jumps that way, and I can go back over like that, and I'm going to swipe up one more time, and I'll add messages back. And so I have my 3 apps there. But you can switch that from Control Center, but it just still doesn't feel quite right to me. But if you slide away and you go all the way back to your home screen and you want to see those 3 apps again, there's no windowing for it. It's not like you can slide across and get to something. If you open up Reminders, just Reminders comes up. And then you're like, well, what did I have open? I think I had the calendar open. And then it opens up, and now all of a sudden the dock is hidden, and then you open up Messages, and then you're like, well, maybe I didn't have Messages, maybe it was Files, or maybe it was photos, and then you open it up like that, and then everything goes away, and then you pull it back down, and then now you can slide. You can't slide very good. It doesn't seem to want to slide. And it's like, well, what happened to the apps I just had open? You know, and if you double tap, you get a full screen, and that's kind of handy. But now if you want to make it smaller, you got to grab down here and you go back, and then you're like, well, all I want to do is get back to those 3 apps that I had open. And now you have to do this all over again. So you press and hold, and then you do this, and now you've got your 3 apps open. So it's a little bit wonky in the way that it works, but honestly, I do think that it's better and it's an improvement. And part of the problem may just be user error on my part, but I think getting this windowing stuff a little more polished is going to be helpful. If you noticed, I just went from the right screen. Now you would think if I just tap on this again, it takes me back to everything. But if I go like this and I open it up, just one of them opens up. If I go like that, and then it makes me wonder, do I go over here? And now I see 3 grouped here, and I tap on it, but still only one opens up. So I have to go back and open them, you know. Well, you see what I mean when I try to do this. So it's a little bit wonky right now, but that's one of the issues I think they need to polish on. This is a beta version of iOS 26, so it's not the final version. But I think once I get the hang of it, that windowing stuff is going to be fixed. Hey, now is a great time to tell you about today's sponsor, SmartWings. SmartWings reached out to me about their incredible motorized light filtering cellular shades. If you've ever messed around with the big box store blinds, you know what a pain they are to install and use. Those thin pull cords never lift the shades correctly unless you get a death grip on them, and then it takes a minute to get them to lock in place. Well, all of those issues are solved with SmartWings' beautiful cellular shades. The ordering process could not be easier. You need just 2 measurements, the width and height. And their website walks you through how to get those measurements accurately. Then simply make your choice of style, color, motor, and a few other things, and then wait for delivery. And depending on which motor you choose, you can connect them to HomeKit on your iPhone, or you can connect them to Amazon Alexa, and even set a schedule for when they automatically open and close. Depending on your order, you can control your smart shades with either a remote control, which is what I have here, an Alexa hub, or your Apple device. Everything you need comes in the box, and actual installation could not be easier. SmartWings even tells you where the ingenious spring-loaded mounts need to be. I made a little wooden spacer for each side and used that as a simple guide on where to attach the mounts. These mounts even have a clever rubber washer to keep vibration noise to a minimum. Each shade comes with a long cable to charge the internal battery. No need to wire up an electrical circuit to get these to work. I charge them prior to installation, but recharging after installation is no problem. Just plug the included cable into a power supply and you're good to go. Next, just snap the shades into place, pair the remote with a simple press of a few buttons, and you've replaced your old blinds or window treatments with beautiful motorized shades. After seeing how well these motorized blinds work and how nice they look, I know I'll be replacing all of my old shades soon. Be sure to check out the link in the description below to learn more about the beautiful shades you see here in this video, and a special thanks to our friends at SmartWings for their support of this channel. Now back to the video. Likewise, the Files app is really good, but it has some weird behavior. So if I open the Files app, I love how it's way better than it was before. I've got a mouse here, and I like that I've got a pointer now. And if I go down through here and I just tap on the little caret, I can actually see what's in the folders. I can come over and I can view it as icons if I want, a list. I often use column view on my computer, so being able to tap on that and then go over and look at what's in the folder there, all of that makes sense. But if you'll notice, I've got a folder down here. It's the purple one called Projects. So I thought, man, it would be handy to have some of my other folders in there. I've got some Pages documents, and I'd like to do that. So I tap on it, and I can't can't do anything with it. I can't move it. If I try to drag it, I can't do that. If I go up to a file that I've created, say archive, I can just drag that down to the dock and put it in, and it looks like a folder, and that's what I would expect it to be. That makes a lot of sense. But I download stuff, and I thought, gosh, it'd be handy to have downloads in the dock as well. So I go to downloads, and sure enough, it will actually let me put downloads in there. But look what it does. It has images of what's in the downloads folder. It's not a folder icon. And if I tap on it, I get an option to choose what's in the downloads folder. And if I tap and hold, I don't have any options to view it as a folder. And it's just kind of weird how that is. So some folders I can put in the dock, some folders I can't put in the dock, some folders look like folders, downloads does not look like a folder. So all of this is an improvement over what it was before, and with a mouse I can still use it pretty well because it really does look like things that are on a computer, but moving stuff to the dock has got some issues, and I'm hoping that that will be taken care of soon. Lastly, I want to talk about the menu bar. So I've talked about windowing, I've talked about the Files app, and now the menu bar. And the reason I'm covering these three things is because they're sort of the mechanical way that you use your iPad. And to get to the menu bar, you have to swipe down from the top. So as you can see, I've swiped down, and now I can take my mouse if I want to, and I can tap on that. I can go over, and I have all these choices. And this is a great improvement because this didn't exist prior to iOS 26. But now that I've got the menu bar down there, and I've tapped, or I've slid it down, and I've got it in view, if I go over here and I tap somewhere on the app, it goes away like that. And I'm like, what? And so I thought I'll try another app. So I'll go over to Calendar, and we'll make Calendar a full page app. And when I move it up there, the cursor up there, it comes down, and that's good. And I can again get to all of the functions that have the calendar involved in it. But if I click on the calendar, it goes away. So now I gotta bring it down every single time. And to me, it would be better to just leave the menu bar up there. It's not like it takes a lot of room, and it's up there until you swipe it away, as opposed to when you tap on the app, it just goes away. Because what I've found is that I want to use it, and I tap here, and then I want to use it again, I got to swipe again, and then I tap again, and it just goes back and forth, and so it's popping up and coming up and going away. And what my hope is that that little menu bar will just stay in place until I want to get rid of it, in which case I can just swipe it away like that. And again, you saw how I swiped and the whole window changed, so they've got some work to do on that as well. And to get the menu bar down, again, you swipe down like that. It used to that when you slid down like that, you brought notifications up. So now to get to your notifications, you swipe down, you get the menu bar, and then you got to swipe again like that to get to your notification center. Not a big problem. And you can swipe all the way from the left and bring it down without getting into the menu. But it's just a little thing. You can still get the control center over here. That doesn't bring up the menu bar. So once you get the hang of those two features, then it probably won't be a problem. My sense is that Apple needs to work on the menu bar, how it appears and how it goes away. And hopefully that'll take place prior to the final release of iOS 26 for the public. But those are just some small things. They're not big. Overall, the iPad is really moving forward. And as I just play with it, it seems to be just so much better. And I am really enjoying using it much more than I did in the past. And it's becoming a much more productive tool for me. But here's the thing. I can use an Apple Pencil with my iPad. Can't do that with a laptop. And when I'm finished working with my iPad in laptop mode, so to speak, I can just snap my iPad free from its keyboard and use it to read books or watch videos or any other simple task. And it's in that versatility that the iPad shines. It's lightweight and easy to carry around, and there's just something fun about using it. You can pass it around among friends and view and edit photos very easily, and you can use it like a pad of paper. And now that it continues to improve in those laptop areas, the reasons to set the iPad aside and go to my fancy computer are fading. The more I play with iPadOS 26, the more I think Apple has done the thing that we all wanted. Maybe just not perfectly yet, but they've turned the corner and pointed in the direction where things are headed. I'd like to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, that's it for today. Don't forget to check out the links below to find out more about SmartWings' incredible blinds. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.